everyone. Welcome to the News 8 Plus app. I'm Chief Meteorologist James Zahara. With me to my left is weather anchor Peter Warner. Hey, Peter.
Hey, James. This is a busy day.
Yeah, and a very active day.
I think
eventually
so.
will be, even though for the most part right now things are fairly quiet, but things are going to percolate in a big way as we go through the next hour or two, and already we're seeing signs of that, especially just off to our south and east. We're going to once again break down everything that we've kind of talked about in the 5 o'clock. We have a few updates here and there. With Peter, he got a chance to talk to people over at the National Weather Service, talk about a new weather watch that's going to be issued here in just a little bit. And also we'll go to meteorologist Morgan Strackbein. We need eyes out there, and sure enough, she is out there in the beast outside of Galesburg, where she's enjoying a little bit of some summer weather.
I was going to say.
Unbelievable.
They had dew points around like 68 with the temperature around 80.
Unbelievable. When you're dealing with that enough instability compared to like what we're dealing with here in areas to our north, you know that you're talking about a battle of the air masses that are going to be going on across a lot of our hometowns through the evening hours until we get to about midnight or so, where things really begin to quiet down. So let's get right to it. Some of this, if you watched our 5 o'clock show, it's going to be a repetition and recall. Let's put it that way. But we can't stress enough about what we're expecting around here. We're going to continue to watch the skies around here, and any warnings that do pop up, any watches that come up, we're going to break in the coverage. I think we'll be able to still continue to broadcast here on the News 8 Plus app. But we'll also be breaking into network as well, especially if we have any tornado warnings.
You always got to go on air for that.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. And not only do we have to worry about the threat for tornadoes, but even some large hail as well. And not just for a small part of the area, but this could be almost area-wide. At least the threat is out there, even for hometowns north of the Quad Cities. We'll get to that in just a little bit. And like we said, the threat should be ending before midnight as we bring in some of that cooler air for the remainder of the work week, and especially going into the weekend. So here's our weather impact alert that goes from now all the way to about midnight for these strong to severe thunderstorms that will be taking place. We're talking about these storms capable of producing some tornadoes that could be strong, 1 or 2 of them in this in the areas to our south and east, which we'll get to in just a little bit, but also the threat for some large hail. Now, one of the things that we have been noticing in these past few hours is that contrast in temperatures. My goodness.
My gosh.
Take it from there, Peter.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing with this system, right, is the boundary that's separating the two air masses. We have what we call a backdoor front coming in from Lake Michigan. Think about all the cold air. They're even talking about snow that was coming in further north in Wisconsin earlier today. You have that cold air mass trying to shove its way further to the south, but then it's meeting with the warm air mass. You can see a pretty clear, stark temperature difference. 80 in Galesburg right now. Just about 59 in Muscatine. I mean, you can see the difference between Burlington and Muscatine. That's about, what, 50 miles or less?
Unbelievable.
Crazy temperature difference. I know we were talking about a 25-degree temperature difference earlier between Orion and Galva.
Yeah, and in this case, when we go up to as far north as Stockton, we're talking close to a 40-degree difference.
It's incredible.
So the boundary is actually situated right near Princeton, Geneseo, or actually south of Geneseo, and heading just south of Muscatine, north of Mount Pleasant. That's where the boundary is, and you can see on our visible satellite, storms are already rapidly developing just east of the Mount Pleasant area.
Yep, the second that you kind of get going with this atmosphere, it's so buoyant.
Yes.
These storms can just become robust very, very quickly here.
Yeah, it's just tremendous lift that we expect to see here. The helicity, or that column of spinning air from the surface aloft, is fairly high. So we're going to see these storms grow very rapidly in the next hour or so. And you can see we got a nice storm that's growing very quickly just north of Danville, even around Minneapolis there in Des Moines County. And that's quickly advancing its way. It looks like just off to the east-northeast. So if it continues to kind of hold together, Minneapolis maybe just missing a Quokka, but Aledo, you could be seeing that storm that's probably developing to your south and west. If you look out the window, you can probably see some incredible cumulus growth. That's going on to our south and west.
Yeah, these clouds are going to tower quickly, and also they're low-level clouds further to the south, which is really important in the threats that we're going to be seeing. Think about with all that moisture in the atmosphere.
Right.
These clouds are going to be very low to the surface too once they get going.
Yeah, especially with all that cold air aloft, you're going to see this tremendous rapid growth of these clouds. And already we're seeing some growth taking place around Alexis, Galesburg. You know, that was nothing about 2 minutes ago.
Yep.
And now it's already creating lightning just east of Alexis, making its way toward Rover Country in northwestern Knox County.
Yeah, I was talking to our engineer because we're working on, getting up a special little presentation we can do if these storms really do develop. And he texted me 10 minutes ago. He's like, all of a sudden there's something fill in on the radar near Alexis. And then sure enough, there's lightning within 10 minutes.
That's
and that
right.
puts into perspective how quickly these things are going to blossom.
Yeah.
It takes 15 to 20 minutes for them to really get going.
Given the conditions that we're noticing, no surprise about that. It doesn't look like much just south and east of Buda, south and west of Princeton, but this could very likely be another storm, a cloud that's developing very rapidly as well. So that's the area that we're watching. In fact, we'll kind of zoom this out just a little bit more and show you where that boundary is. And there
Right
it
on
is,
top
right
of
there.
it. Yep.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at here with this boundary, especially to the south, where not only do we have a chance for seeing a threat for tornadoes, but even some large hail. But keep in mind, if you're north of the boundary, like we see in the Quad Cities and Sterling Rock Falls, Clinton, don't think that things are going to be calm for you, because there still is a severe weather threat for you.
Yeah, on the call with the National Weather Service, they told us about it. So the call was right around 5. They said within the next 30 minutes or so, they're going to be issuing a severe thunderstorm watch. And that's going to be for counties that aren't included in that tornado watch. So,
Right.
And that's where we're seeing that hail potential. Think about that warm air climbing over that dense Lake Michigan cold air.
Yep.
That's what's giving that updraft for this hail to develop.
And with these cooler temperatures that we have near the surface as well, any of these, hailstones with a strong updraft is not only going to get larger and larger, but the temperatures being so cool is not going to have a chance to melt.
Yep.
And that's why
Huge.
if we see hailstones larger north of the boundary, that's no surprise.
No surprise at all.
In that situation. So this is pretty much the area that we're going to keep an eye on, but especially areas south and east of the Quad Cities. And we're going to focus outside of Galesburg because, there's only so much that we can see on the radar.
Yep.
And that's why it's so important that we have eyes out there to determine what's really going on. What better place to go to than meteorologist Morgan Strackbine?
The tracker herself.
That's right, who is in the beast right now to kind of give us an idea of where she is and, more importantly, what she is looking for as well. Morgan, are you there?
We got the picture.
We got the picture, and you can see.
Oh, those are towering quick.
Those are indeed. She might be doing something right now.
Yep.
Okay. We'll get to Morgan in just a little bit, but that is definitely the camera just outside of Galesburg. And, we saw a lot of clear skies about an hour ago or so, but now we're starting to see some of that growth actually begin to take place.
And am I crazy? Straight ahead, that's precipitation starting to come down, isn't it?
It looks like it,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yep.
and it could be, if that is true, that could be just north of Galesburg itself,
That would
like
make
we mentioned,
sense.
right around Alexis.
Yeah, that's exactly where
In fact, let me see if I can actually get the radar up here. Like I said, Morgan is just outside of Galesburg, and that's probably what they're looking at right now.
Yep.
With that storm that we see there. I'm going to probably see if I can get, there we go, just putting it between us. And there's our shot from the camera itself, from the beast. Showing some of the storms, and you can see, that is definitely some rain going on, and likely that's part of that storm that is creating some of that lightning just north and west of Galesburg. It looks like it's right on top of northern Henderson, I think.
Near
North
Woodhull.
Henderson, right east of Alexis itself, and heading toward Rio.
Yep, Rio and then Woodhull. And what's interesting, we talk about the cloud cover here, right? Look how low that is. And
Yeah, these are surface-based storms.
Surface-based
No
storms.
question about it. And the storms that are expected to develop north of that front, those are going to be more elevated. Now, it does take away the risk, the threat of seeing tornadoes. However, though, it doesn't take away the threat for seeing large hail.
Yeah.
Okay? Oh, and we're getting Morgan here in just a little bit. And Morgan, if you're able to hear us, how's things going on
Can you hear me?
in
Yes,
Galesburg?
we
Yes,
got
we can
you.
hear you.
Oh, perfect. Okay, cool. We were trying to work on the mic here. in the Beast. But yes, we are right now just outside of Galesburg. We haven't moved because I've really liked the spot that we're at. Right now we've been watching these storms. Obviously, I've had the camera on these storms, so I'm going to take you back outside here. But this is pointing, just off to the west of us, kind of pointing towards Alexis, where that storm is starting to form. But like I said, we are just outside of Galesburg. I've just really, really liked where we are at because this is exactly where that boundary is. And like you guys have been saying all evening, this is really just a battle of the boundary. Where is it going to park itself? When are we going to start to see this initiation? So we're really starting to see it. I mean, we're getting fantastic views, as you can see, of some of these towering cumulus just off to our west here. Again, you can even see it right here as we point up just a little bit. So a lot of this cloud growth is starting to take shape. So we're likely going to sit right here for a couple more minutes. I think, honestly, instincts are telling me that eventually we're going to start to see a lot of these begin to pop off even more as they even travel more off to the north and east. So we might start kind of traveling ourselves behind these storms a little bit more.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. You know, Morgan has that spidey sense, as we've been talking about.
She's
so
the
good
best
at
of the
this
best.
stuff. Yes.
Morgan, I don't know if you can still hear me. I have a quick question. How quickly did it take for that to develop and kind of become what it is?
Oh my gosh, we have been sitting here since we got here about 3:45-ish, before we were doing our live shots for the Current, and then of course at News 8 at 5, there was nothing happening here, but you could just definitely tell that the environment was primed down here. And then I am not kidding, within the past 15 minutes, I just started to see a little bit pop up on radar. I started to see some of those clouds begin to tower, and then all of a sudden lightning starts to take form. So it really started to form here within the last 15 minutes, and that's exactly what it is about chasing this kind of dynamic system here. You just got to try to find that special sweet spot where you think things are going to start to fire off, and just wait and see.
That's incredible.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, that's something that things are going to change in a big way here within this hour or so, because these storms are really firing it up, not only where you guys are just north of Galesburg, but even the storms that we're noticing just north of Burlington in Des Moines County. This storm is just exploding as we speak, as it continues to make its way, looks like from southwest to northeast. That may be a storm that we'll have to keep an eye on for the potential, maybe for a warning that could be popping up going into maybe around Mercer County. We'll see how that turns out. Morgan, we'll let you go. Of course, we'll make sure you get ready to go for our newscast at 6 o'clock. We'll get back to you then. Thanks so much. Really appreciate
Morgan.
it. Great job. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at all the other information that we going on here. Of course, let's go back to the radar real quick. Full screen. This is what we've been seeing, folks. Seeing these storms really begin to blossom in northern Des Moines County there, right around Minneapolis itself, just south of Wapello, pushing his way off to the north and east. And you can see Aledo, I think Joy is probably right there, New Boston, Keithsburg. That's in the way of that storm. So be prepared. That storm is just a few minutes away from you, and you're already seeing lightning even taking place well ahead of the storm itself.
And I will say something to notice within that is the reflectivity. Notice how it started to get that pink.
Yes.
When you get those pockets of really strong reflectivity in these types of systems, a lot of the times that indicates that hail starting to develop in that hail core.
Yeah, let's see what we got as far as hail possibilities here. That's going to probably take a while to pop up here.
Takes a second to pop up.
It does. But let me do this. Let's show the velocity too, because that's another thing that we're really concerned about. And right now it doesn't look all too bad. The only exception may be just west of Aquaka there. We'll have to keep an eye on that, just south and east of Minneapolis. But as far as hail probability is concerned, there it goes. Yep. You're right on the button there. It's still pretty low, but it's obvious. You can see just west of 61 there that we are noticing, maybe some small hail. I'll get this to scroll down here. There we go. Just between Morning Sun and Minneapolis, that could be some hail that's getting ready to fall. Right now in the form of pea-size hail. But what we've been focusing on too is, those updrafts that are expected to get stronger and stronger and stronger. And we're looking at these updrafts that's helping to grow these clouds very quickly to maybe over 60 miles an hour. So when you have that, this is a concern about seeing some large hail.
Yeah, I mean, that's just exactly how it develops. The kind of best way to think about it is like, you know how those little toys when you were a kid, they had it where it'd blow up and keep that little ball up in the air?
That's right.
kind of exactly what's happening in the atmosphere. And when you have the stronger wind, or that stronger thing kind of keeping that ball up in the air, that's going to allow it to stay there longer until gravity can finally force it down.
In fact, exactly. That strong updraft that's going to help cycle this hailstone, make it larger and larger and larger as it interacts with some of the super cool water droplets. And that's what we're really concerned about as we head into this evening. Let's go and show everyone real quick here the severe storm coverage that we're looking at. And you can see it's mainly south and east of the Quad Cities as far as the highest risk. 4 out of 5 along and east of the river, along and east of the line from Galesburg, Kewaunee, and even around Princeton. And within that purple shaded area, somewhere within there, you're going to get 1 or 2 strong tornadoes that could be expected in there. Maybe an EF2, maybe an EF3 they may be looking at. So this is why we got that tornado watch out until around 11 p.m. Doesn't include immediate Quad Cities, but certainly from Burlington to Galesburg and points east or toward Princeton, LaSalle, Peru, and even as far east as around Kankakee. But we are going to put up graphically that severe thunderstorm watch that does include, I believe, the immediate Quad Cities and points northward.
It just came in, so I can pull that new graphic up. Yeah, we had to make sure we built a separate one, so we separate these two for you.
It's going to come up here in just a little bit here.
I'm going to pull it up for you guys here.
But once again, folks, when we start getting those warnings out, then we're going to certainly let you know on News 8, and we're also going to let you know right here on the News 8 Plus app. So this is a new thunderstorm watch.
It covers the rest of our hometowns.
That's right, until around midnight. And I think the threat level here is not only for an isolated strong thunderstorm with some very heavy rain and wind, but also some large hail, okay? Because of the dynamics being so high and the cooler temperatures north of this boundary, you have a chance for seeing even larger hailstones, possibly golf ball, or maybe even larger.
Hennig,
Yeah, Hennig. We got to keep that in mind. So that is until around midnight or so. Now, fortunately, we're on the west end of that, so that's some good news, and we'll have to definitely be keeping an eye on that. Okay? So that's kind of what we're looking at here. And let's go back to the radar again, and then what we're going to do is get ourselves ready for our newscast coming up at around 6 o'clock. But we want to show everyone the radar once again and how rapid we're seeing of this development. It's really going crazy just south of the Quad Cities here.
What's interesting is we have a little banner at the top that tells us where this was in the last hour. It looks like it took only about 30 minutes to 25 minutes, if you can see at the top of the screen there, for that cluster near Keithsburg, kind of making its way out there into Louisa County to get going.
Yeah, definitely going to be seeing this impact areas around Mercer County, especially around Aledo itself. That is definitely minutes away. There's a lot of lightning going on with this, some very heavy rain. There could be some twisting going on as well, because keep in mind, you guys are right where that boundary is, and we'll keep an eye on the velocity, okay? The green and the red colors, we always look for those, especially any brightness between them, the contrast in colors that may be indicating some type of spin. In fact, let me see if I can even put this in motion here to see what, any signs or anything. And we don't see that as of yet.
Too much red. That's a good sign.
That's good. That's all right. You're going to get a good old-fashioned thunderstorm here, but it could become severe. So we'll have to see how that all turns out. So that's pretty much the latest that we have right now, folks. We'll probably get some updates here coming up in the next 10 minutes or less. And of course, once we do, we'll let you know right here at News 8 at 6. Thank you so much for joining us here on the News 8 Weather App.